Hello, John Robertson, your volunteer librarian for Oscar, back again with another video on the 2020 BC antenatal record. This is part 4 now, and we've managed finally to get to the second page. We're just going to jump here and click on part 2, page 1. And when we get to part 2, we can start filling these out. The same rules apply. If something has a purplish color to it, it will do either a calculation or jump to the chart for you. If it's grayed out or the text area is gray, this information's been pulled from the chart and you won't be able to update it. Also with the check boxes, if the check boxes don't have a white background but more have a grayish background, then those ones aren't active and they won't become active until the preceding text area or checkbox is clicked. We can fill in part 12 here, plan place of birth at 20 weeks and at 36 weeks, and fill in a hospital. We can fill in a confirmed estimated date of delivery. And this is very important because it feeds back into calculations that you make on the first page. So for instance, if we say that the estimated date of delivery is going to be Valentine's Day, we can also say this was by ultrasound or by IVF. Let's click on that. Let's just save that for a moment. And now let's go back to part 1. Just jump back there for a second. If we now go to the age at EDD, previously it would have given us an error and said we hadn't filled out the right box on part 2 in section 12. Now that we have filled that out, if we double click here, it'll tell us that this patient will be 43 on their due date. As well, if you get to the second page and can't remember what their due date was that you calculated on the first page, we can go back here to what the dating ultrasound was and what their estimated date of delivery was based on the dating ultrasound. And we can copy this here with a Control-C or a Command-C, and we can go to, we should save this first, and then go to page 2, and we can paste it here, and then we can put it in that way as well. If we move on to 13, we can pick their blood type and their Rh factor. We can put in their antibody titers given a date and what the titer was. We can fill in when they were given RhoGAM and what their hemoglobin was in the first trimester and in the third trimester. We can also fill out all the rest of their lab work and results through here. And if we have other tests that we did, we can fill those out as well. Again, you see down here, if we did a test other than the ones described, we can click other, and then this text area becomes active, and we can type it in. We can move to 14, and we can go to the perinatal postnatal depression scale. Now, that depression scale can be found in the reference pages. If we go to reference page 2, we'll find the Edinburgh Perinatal Postnatal Depression Scale as a reference for us, and interpretations and actions. Over here you'll notice the old graph that we used to see. The newest version of the BC perinatal services antenatal record actually does not have this graph printed right into the record, but it is still here available if you want to do your own check to see where they graph in terms of their weeks gestational age and their symphysis fundal height. Going back to Part 2, page 1, we can move from their Edinburgh Perinatal Postnatal Depression Scale over here to 15 and put any other ultrasounds that they have in. We can put a date in, and because we have a fixed estimated date of delivery, any date we put in here for an ultrasound, we can put in the gestational age with a double click, and then of course any comments that you wish to make. Then we can put in the usual pregnancy type, estimated whether they're eligible for a vaginal birth after cesarean section, and the other lifestyle, substance use issues, and so on. In section 17 here, you can put any date that you did an exam on, and any date you did it. Again, if you double click here, that will tell you what gestational age they were on this date based on your confirmed date of delivery. You can fill in their blood pressure, urine dip. You can, in this spot, put a weight in pounds and double click, and you will get kilos. You can put fundus, fetal heart rate, fetal movement, and other comments. And if you need to do additional visits, once you've got to the bottom of this page, you can go to Part 2, page 2, and fill more out. There are sign-offs here where the individuals filling in the form can put their name. Obviously, this is electronic and you cannot sign this, and then you can put their designation in here. That completes the Part 2. Page 2 of Part 2 looks very much similar to page 1 and allows you many more spots to fill in further visits.